Hello everybody. This is the Zero BS CRM live webinar where we run through the product and answer any questions that you might have. So if you are only just joining, we haven't quite started yet, so you've not missed anything. But if you do, if you'd like to introduce yourself in the chat, just leave a message, let me know your name and where you're from and where you're watching from. And then the other option you'll be able to have is you'll be able to ask any questions on the questions tab. And then if you have anything to ask as I'm running through the demo, just ask a question and I'll pick those up as we go along. So don't forget to say hello, and then in a couple of minutes I'll start. Hi Claudio from Switzerland. So I'll just give a bit more time for people to join. There's a couple of people that are running on compatibility mode, so this just means that you may have a bit of a delay in the stream. Hi Destiny again. Hi Michael and Mars from the US. So if people didn't catch what I said a minute ago, if you have any questions, then just ask them on the questions tab as I go along. And the purpose of this session is just to run through the CRM, and if there's any areas that you want me to cover in particular about any extensions or any questions, just ask them as I go along. So I'm running the CRM on a demo website, so that's what you can see now. So you have the dashboard, contacts, quotes, invoices, transactions, and then tools, which is where extensions will be if you install extensions. And so there's a couple of different options, and I first wanted to run through generally what you see when you install the CRM. So you'll see an area without any data, so it's quite useful to just have a screen with data on. So this is how it would look with data, and it'll have recent activity, your latest contacts, and then your revenue snapshot. So the first thing I wanted to just touch on, in case people haven't seen it, when the CRM is first run, you'll be given a welcome tour. So it should load up and you should be given a little tour which will take you around the key areas of the CRM. So I'm going to assume that you've all done that, but I think people tend to miss this first point. So it says if you click this, the logo, it makes the CRM full screen. And that tends to be how we use it, just because it's more space for everything. And so it'll set itself in full screen, and if you need to flick back, you just press the logo again. So that's the dashboard of the CRM. So I was going to first just quickly run through adding a contact, which is easy enough, and if you've used the CRM before, you should have already done this. So just choose add new, and then you can fill in the contact fields. So this is just a blank contact, and you can add any social links. So if you know various Twitter feeds, or if they've got a company page, you can add that, and then you just fill it in. So I'm going to add a lead, and it's going to be Mrs. Michelle, and she's a vegetarian. Fill in address if you want, and then phone numbers if you have that data. And then this is just a made-up email. That's all you need to really add. So first name, last name, and email tends to be the key areas for the CRM, and obviously the status of the contact. And then you can save your contact. So nothing's showing up on here because it's just a made-up email. But if you have a real email, then as you can see, I added myself, and it will show you the avatar, the email, and then the status, and also the value and any tags that you might add. So here's one I made earlier. So I added myself a couple of minutes ago, and this is how the record looks. So it says when were they added, so added today, and then you can go and edit any fields if you want to add it, change any fields for the person. So that's the view contact page, and then from here is where most of the action happens. So under contact actions, you'll see there's a drop down, and you can do a lot of different things. So you can edit the contact, you can add a quote, you can add an invoice, and then you can send a statement, which is a new addition that we added recently. So this is only visible if you've got invoices for your contacts. And what it allows you to do is just send them a quick statement saying, on this date, this is the position of your account. So if we go down a little bit on mine, you'll see that I've added a couple of invoices today. And so one is paid and one is overdue. So then if I go to contact actions and send statement, it'll say, do you want to send a statement? And I've said yes. And then that will be sent. The statement was successfully sent. So then if you go to the email, so this is called MailHog, and it's something that we use just to test emails are going out. So you'll see here that just now, a few seconds ago, your statement was sent to Mike. And it says, this is your statement. We generated a statement for any invoices you may have with us. Please do let us know and pay. So then it'll attach a PDF, which will show the customer that they've got payments to make. So they've got 500 balance due. So one's been paid, one hasn't. So that's a new addition that we added recently. So if you're managing a number of clients and you need to send them a position of where they're up to, that's an option there. And then there's other areas that you can do that you're already used to. So adding a quote, adding an invoice, or just adding transactions if you're direct selling. So again, if anyone's got any questions, please do ask in the questions tab, and I'll answer them as we go along. And also, if there's anything you want to see, just let me know and I can cover that area as well. So I'm just running through the various steps. So you've added a contact, and then from adding contacts, you can do additional actions. But then once you have a list of contacts, they're shown on the contact list. So as you can see on here, you've got a list now and there's 624 contacts. And then this is when things like filters and tags come in handy. So I've tagged myself with me. So if I want to jump and just show people with that tag, then it filters the list and makes it a little bit easier. The other area that I tend to look at quite a bit is the emails tab. So if you go to emails, then you'll be able to see any emails that you've sent. So I've sent an email to myself, and as you could see on here, it's actually sat in the inbox there, hello from Mike. Hello from Mike. So this was sent out from the CRM, and you can see that this had been sent. And so it was for me, I'm a customer. I've got one task in progress, which is say hello to Mike. So it's a little bit confusing because I'm effectively managing myself. So if you're doing this, you'll have emails to somebody else. So as soon as Mike opens the email, this is an email coming out of the CRM, and you'll be able to see on here, if you refresh the page and click the email again, it'll tell you when that person read the email. So you can follow up with them if need be. So they've read the email, and then you're like, oh, okay, so I need to send, they've not paid the amount, or they've not done something else. So then you can follow up with them. So you'll also see there's a task, say hello to Mike, and there's one task and one task in progress. So the task area is under tools, task calendar. So you can add as many tasks as you want. So say hello to Mike is a task I added earlier again, and I've done that now. So I can mark it as complete. And say I've got another one, and this time I want to follow up with Mike. Again, this Mike is me as a CRM user, and then the Mike down here is the customer Mike. So it's just again a little confusing because they're both the same name. So you'll see there that I've now added another task. So follow up with Mike, and then going to the task calendar again, you'll see, so you'll say hello to Mike's been done. So there's a tick. Follow up with Mike is a new task. And then when you're looking at your communication history, you can go on here and say sent. Okay, so say hello to Mike's done, and I still need to follow up with Mike. So 2 tasks, 1 have been done and 1 is in progress. So this is an overview. If you're working on a list of to-dos for a contact, you can do it that way. You can see it on that page, or you can see it on the task manager itself. So then again, back to this is the contact again. So you'll see it'll show you that events have been created, some transactions and invoices. So this is the activity log. And then you can add a note to say, follow up with Mike to be done tomorrow. And you can build up your history for the contacts here in the contact log, so you can see everything that's been going on, and certain things will happen automatically. So when you do an invoice, it'll log that event. When you do a new event, it'll log it as an activity log. So this is a useful way of seeing what's going on with my contacts. So if somebody else needs to jump in and pick it up, you'll be able to review the notes and see what's been happening. So a couple of questions. So again, if you're asking questions, can you ask them on the questions tab, not in the chat? It just makes it easier to answer them there. So I'll answer the ones at the moment. So Daniel's asked, is there any opportunity to translate mail text to any other language? So of the ones there, so I've showed the one where I wrote an email myself. So if you're writing your own email, you can write that in whatever language. But again, if you go to the emails, and then if you want to change the actual system emails, you go to templates. And then you have these other email templates at the moment that are in there. So you can change the language in the content there. So you've got your client portal, quote accepted. So when I send a statement, you see there that this is the body text of that. So your statement for whatever the business name is in your CRM. And you can edit the various wording in there. And then again, if you click on here, you'll be able to see your recent activity. So the ones I just sent a minute ago, it'll say whether they've been opened or not, so you can actually see what's been going on by the end user. So if you do need to change the languages, it's on the email templates tab. Claudio said, I tried to sync Google Contacts, but I've no luck generating the keys. So Google is a little bit of a tricky one to set up. So if you just send us a support ticket on that one, there's various, like you need to put the correct site URL in and all that sort of thing if you're doing Google Contacts. Phil's asked, is the email server within ZBS separate from Outlook? If so, emails are sent from within ZBS. They are only visible within ZBS. Yes, so it's sent out via mail delivery. So again, let me jump to that setting. So when you go to, so back to mail settings. So in the CRM settings page, there's various things you can do with mail. So this is where you want to track various stats. And then if you're sending emails from the CRM, it'll come like this, first name, last name at CRM name. So e.g. might start at Zero BS CRM, or you can choose it to have CRM name or mail delivery method sender name. So this is all linked into the mail campaigns extension as well. So it's all going via mail delivery. So whatever you set up in your mail delivery, so this is just running from WP Mail. But if you wanted to add another, you can then so Amazon SES Amazon. So this is just an example. It's not going to work. And then you can say SMTP. So it's going via your custom mail server, and then you can choose so Amazon SES, and then you need to put in your SES username and password if you're doing it via Amazon. So it wouldn't be your email in this case. And then you set that up, and then it'll validate that it's sending okay, and it'll all go via the SMTP settings. But yeah, so that's how it handles emails out. So when sending email to so Randy's asked, when sending email to contact in the toolbar, it displays name but not the email address. Can you add another email to CC? No, we can't. You can't add CC. at the moment. So the reason for that is when I showed you a minute ago on here, and it says whether the email was read, if you start CCing people, it's going to trigger that it's been read, but not necessarily by the contact. So that's why we don't allow CCs in the emails at the moment. So it is just so customer name or email, and then the subject. So we don't allow CC, it's just the name. So that's the mail delivery. And then whenever you type in here, it won't show you the email, but it is linked. And if you're trying to send an email to contact without an email address, it'll warn you at the top like it's done there, because I did a blank email. And please do ask questions in the questions tab. You keep asking them in the chat. So is there any direct link to access the email screen that shows recent emails? There isn't a direct link. Yeah, sort of. It's in the direct link is now on here. So you go to your little face there, then emails, and this will show the emails that have been sent to the contacts, but it excludes the system emails. So this is just direct comms. So it won't show, like, if you did an email campaign and sent an email message to 1,000 contacts, it won't show 1,000 emails in here. It will just show effectively your direct email, so it's easier to see what you sent for that contact without getting it muddied up via all of the system emails. What's the purpose of the edit screen to the right? I'm not sure what you mean there, sorry. Oh, someone's asked a question in the questions tab. So Daniel said, so Daniel has asked, is there a German translation already done for all the screens within ZBS? So there, we do have a German translation. It's actually at the moment set pending. So let me find you the area for that. So we've had a couple of translations, but the way that WordPress works is that they get translated. And then they sit waiting for somebody to effectively approve, and the translations are actually proper. So we've got them already translated. I'm just trying to find the right link for you, and I'll paste it in the chat. So it's been translated, but we're just waiting for approval. So if you know anybody that is a translation approval person on WordPress, then that would really help. So our link for how to translate it is, I'll send it into the main chat. Just 1 second. That's the translation link, and then if you follow that through, you'll see there's a link to the WordPress project. So for example, just trying to find one, yeah, and I'll find the German page for you as well. So we've had a number of translations, so we've already got it translated to Swedish and Dutch, and we've got a number that are pending, but we're just trying to find people that can actually translate it. It seems to have disappeared. Either way, so the link is in, the link is to the actual project. It's here as well. So there was a German translation not too long ago that seems to somehow have gone away. So there's two links there. So you've got the actual link to WordPress on the wordpress.org, and then also the translating Zero BS knowledge base guide that we've done there. Again, so Randy's asking about an edit page on here. So this, I think you mean this little area where you've got my name, customer, how many tasks, etc. That is just a view. So that's just the key information for that contact. and then the edit contacts link at the top will take you back to the contact edit page if you need to change anything. So Phil's asked, I have a corporate email extension, xyz@company, for example. Can emails from ZBS display this as the from address? So yes, if you go to, again, to your mails, so it's going to be the settings, oops. And then as long as you set it up as a mail delivery address, so as long as you set your company address here as one of the options to go outbound, and then you can set it as default, then all the emails will come out from the default of that company name. So that's how you do that, and then you can send tests, etc., when you're doing this step, just to make sure that it is actually doing it as you expect it to. And you can add as many mail delivery options as you want here, so you don't have to just have it coming from one standard email. Daniel said wrong link. I'm not sure what you mean by wrong link. Okay, so we're about 20 minutes into the webinar. I've covered contacts, emails, and tasks. I've covered quotes previously, but I've not done it for a couple of webinars. So quotes are quite straightforward. If you are, for example, bidding on work and you want to issue a quote for that work, so that could be anything, we have the option of you setting up templates. So I've done a roof tiling template in the past on this CRM at a previous webinar, and it's just a very straightforward, hi, contact full name, this is a quote for XYZ, ABC at the end. So you can pad this out with as much content as you want. And then when you're adding a new quote, so say I wanted to add a quote for a certain person, so again I'll go back to me, quote for a new roof, 500, and roof tiling template. So remember, mine was very basic, and then I can just say use quote builder, and it will populate that quote, and it populates the name of the contact. So if you've got more information that you wanted to put in there, in like a more detailed quote with more placeholders, then this is a great way of doing it. It will save you a lot of time if you're sending the same type of quote to multiple contacts. So if you have a website where, for example, you're doing restaurant reviews and you're getting paid for doing that via the restaurants, and you're issuing that to a number of different restaurants, then you might say, okay, this is my standard quote for coming to review your restaurant. You'll get a piece on my website. It's $500 or whatever. This includes a reach of this many people, and I'll book you in for this date, and then etc. etc. So it'll save you a lot of time having to rewrite that each time, and you could just have it replace certain keywords with like the restaurant names. So it saves you having to go and edit and re-edit documents. If you have standard quotes with a lot of like terms and conditions on the end, or a lot of standard wording that you just want to automate and save time. And so that's the quotes area. And invoices are straightforward enough as well. And all of these, once you assign them to a contact, you see, so I've assigned a quote, new roof 500 to myself. And then when we go back and view myself again, oops, you'll see that it will load up and it'll show us that quote. So that's the quote I did a minute ago. Yeah. Someone managed to open my email. Okay, so you got edit contacts. Let me quit this. No, I just don't want to do it. Okay, so yep, so the quote's there, and then the invoices are there from before, and the transactions, and then the files. So files is another area of the CRM. So if you want to attach files to a contact, so say they've agreed something with you or they've sent you something to look at, you can attach that file and keep it all in one place. And so an example for that would be if you're doing like design work for somebody, then they may have a spec, that they want you to quote on. So then you could upload their spec there, and then you could see your quote here. So it's just keeping everything in one place, and then you could follow it all the way through to from a quote to the invoice to them actually paying for that invoice. So Phil said, "Can you show how to customize reports?" So can we show how to customize reports? So we don't have a report customizer available. So everything in the CRM is as you see it, and there's certain different areas that you may want to customize. But so if you just drop us a note through to support, we have had a couple of requests for like custom reports, and it's something that we'll be looking at. There's so many different areas of the CRM that you could report on that we sort of build the things in as they're into the CRM at the moment. So for example, this dashboard is a dashboard report, so there's certain things there. And then if we were looking at, so if I just pop this smaller, so I've moved in a couple of plugins. So let me just move in. We've also got sales dashboard as another extension. So that again is more reporting. So I'll just show you that in 1 second. Any content. So there's various different reports throughout the CRM that you can get just by looking at list views and filtering, and but if there's anything further customized, so for example, sales reports, which I've just installed now as I was talking. So sales dashboard is another reporting area. So that's one of our premium extensions. So this is effectively our CRM dashboard. But then if you wanted to go and look at the sales dashboard, so if you're selling products, then this gives you a little bit more information. So again, I've not got too much history in here. But if I make it a little bit further back, so the past 3 months, it goes away and it will show you your various revenue reports and fees and how many new contacts and what your total contacts are. So again, with this being demoed data, I've not added any new contacts for a while, so you can see that it's flattened off a little bit, even with transactions. So I can add, this runs from your data, and then this is your recent activity again, like a combination of like the leads that you've been added, the transactions that you've added, etc. So that's an example of a report, and then you can see various different dates. So Mars has asked, is there a way to add custom fields for pricing, specifically such as commissions earned? So custom fields in the CRM, again, if you go to, it's under settings, and then custom fields. So we do have transaction custom fields here. So you can add a custom field and you could say commission. And you'd say, and then you save the page. And then that will be showing on your transactions. So if you want to add so transaction fields, again, same with contacts as well. If you wanted to add contact custom fields, you can do that through this custom fields area. So if you wanted to expand the data, it's best done through there. Okay, I think so I've put one of the extensions on. So the sales dashboard is useful if you're, for example, if you're running an e-commerce store or like an agency business where you're constantly billing people and you want to see how you're doing compared to previous months. And this is a useful tool to be able to see all the way back all the information that you've been doing. Each of these boxes you can click into, but we are refining some of these views at the moment because we're working on the new transaction model. So that'll give us faster reporting when it comes to looking at sales. So I can show you a particular example of what this is going to look like when it's available. So it's just doing the calculations in the background. So once that's finished, I'll flip to that page. As for other extensions, so this is the Zero BS website, and these are the extensions. So we've recently added a couple of, only just last week, a couple of new Connect extensions. So Livestorm Connect, which is what we use for our webinars. When this is installed on your CRM, anybody that signs up for your webinar will go into your CRM and be tagged with what webinar they're attending. And then I just try to exit then, if you noticed. And then I have this exit intent. So this is powered by ExitB. And again, this is a lead capture form. So this is running on our website, and anybody that fills this in, and it'll get added to the CRM. So those are the two latest, is ExitB Connect and Livestorm Connect. And it's just ways of capturing more data into your CRM automatically. Another one which you may not have seen is WordPress utilities. So this is something you may want to use if you've got a website and you're just capturing signups. So like new subscribers would automatically get added to your CRM. So, and then, so if everything's coming in as a WordPress user, then this will capture them into the CRM. And then we've got all the other extensions that we've had on the site for a while now. Various connectors with like Aweber, MailChimp, and our ConvertKit, which is where the final one's gone. ConvertKit was higher up, I think. Yep, ConvertKit. So these are all different ways of powering up the CRM. So if there's any particular extensions you'd like to see, depending on sort of data side of things, so things like PayPal Sync, that brings all the data in from PayPal. So it's not really feasible to show that because it'll be bringing in live data, and same with WooCommerce. So Claudio said it'd be cool to be able to sync user data from contacts in LinkedIn. So another thing to share with you would be the coming soon page. So we've got a coming soon page. So this is where we collect votes, and it's come up again saying that's the exit intent again. So I'll share this into the chat. We've got the coming soon area, and this is a way of people capturing of us knowing what to build next, really. So Zero BS inbox is when I've been showing you the email side out, it's the email side in. So if Mike would reply to my email, it will directly get it into the CRM. Oops, I'll click that twice. That's why I did that. Yep. So when you get a reply, it'll come in, it'll notify you that you've had a new email, and you'll be able to manage it from your CRM. So it's effectively like a shared inbox is what Zero BS inbox will be, and that will be an additional product similar to the likes of Groove HQ, which is what we use for our incoming inbox. So the CRM is doing the CRM work, and then this will tie everything together with emails in as well. With various other types of extensions here. So if you've not been on here before, it's worth coming on, casting your vote on what you want to see next. LinkedIn isn't on there because no one else has requested it yet. So again, if you, I can add that onto there. I'll make a note to do that. Daniel's asked, is there any news on the connectors to ClickTip? So ClickTip is a product aimed at the German market, similar to like MailChimp. It's an email marketing automation platform. And at the moment, we've got another, so that's what I'm answering at the moment, if you're wondering. So any news on the connection to ClickTip? So I was saying that's an email marketing product that's we're personally not building an extension for, but one of our German users is has almost got one completed. So that's something that we'll be partnering with them in the future. It's still being worked on. So as soon as that's available, we'll let people know via the email. So let me send the link of keeping up to date as well. So if you want to keep up to date with everything, So things like when will that extension be available, then you can do it via entering your email. So if we've got you in the CRM anyway, then we can do it that way. But if you're not sure whether you've been getting our emails, then just fill your email in there, and we'll let you know when any news is available on that extension. So do we have any other questions? Is there anything else people would like to cover? Speak now or forever hold your peace. So the extensions, we have still our closing of the version 2. So we're very near version 3 now. So it's the last chance to get the bundles at the current prices. So you see here that this is our pricing page, and so it's the last chance to get version 2, effectively, is what we're saying. So as soon as version 3 is out, which is looking like very early in the new year, then the prices will go up. They won't go up to the prices in red. We've got a completely different pricing structure for the new version. So if you're keen and you've not already purchased, then now would be a great time to get on board before the end of the year, and it can be a little Christmas present to yourself. So if there's nothing anybody else wants to see, I'll keep this open for another 5 minutes or so for any questions. I'll jump back to the CRM dashboard. So if there's any questions you have on any area of the CRM, then just let us know. But I think I've covered all of the questions so far. This is our last webinar until the new year as well. So we'll be doing a new webinar at the start of January, but we'll also be doing some additional ones covering things like the new version of mail campaigns. A couple more questions. So is there any details you could say to version 3? So we're currently on version 2.95, 2.97, I believe. Version 3, most of the features that are in version, the version you're using already is what's coming in version 3. So we do have a page available for version 3, but it's not ready to share yet. So we're still working on the marketing side of that. So it sort of depends the type of things you're thinking about. So features-wise, and the timeline is roughly mail campaigns version 2. So we sent out a beta version for mail campaigns of the new edition. So that's going to be finalized before the end of the year. So that's mail campaigns v2. And then we are moving all of our objects into a new database, so to make things quicker. So as I was saying before, on the sales dashboard, running things like clicking into the gross revenue tab, if you've got a lot of transactions, it can take a long time to do this page. So this page that you should be seeing now, so that's clicking into the data, and it's sort of giving you all the way back to your very first transaction all of the information that's come into this CRM. So we just had I put a random payment back in September just to show how slow this could be. So this is the type of things we'll be able to build on the back of the version 3, is make this a little bit quicker, make it more flexible for like filtering via transaction names, being able to turn on and off things like new customers. So new customers is in blue, existing customers is in green, so you can see how your CRM is doing. Failed payments, so if you're getting a lot of failed payments, people are trying to pay you and it's failing, or you're running a subscription business and it's failing, you'll be able to see what's going on there and set like various CRM notifications if you're going outside. So if you had a lot coming in, you'll be able to contact that person and say, your transaction's failed 3 times, do you need to update your card, etc. So as for what's coming is the new version of mail campaigns, which I can give you a quick preview of if you've not tried the beta. So again, if you go to plugins, so mail campaigns version 2, and so that's going to be separated into a new bundle as well. So at the moment we have the entrepreneurs bundle, the reseller option, and the freelancer bundle. That's going to be split. So you have freelancer, entrepreneur, and elite. So elite will be a new bundle, which will have the bigger extensions and the bigger products like mail campaigns and like the inbox when we come to develop that. So I've just activated mail campaigns, and what mail campaigns does is gives you a way to be able to email all of your contacts. So if you wanted to do a new campaign and you wanted to send a single email or an email sequence, this is what mail campaigns can do. So you can say, Mike, email, hello. So any sequence, or you could say, well, onboard. Let's make it a bit more sensible. Onboarding sequence. You can choose the mail delivery from before. So which email do you want this to come from? And we can say, I don't want to send it on Sundays, and continue. And then you can say, send it to a segment or just use tags. So segments is a way of grouping up your contacts into more granular than just tags. So I'll just do it on hashtag me because I tagged myself before. But you can do this on either segments or tags, and then you'll see the contacts. So if you wanted to have a segment for everybody that joins your latest webinar, which as I was showing you with the Livestorm Connect, somebody that signs will get a tag of Livestorm, and then you can say, okay, they have that tag. I want to then send them this sequence of emails after they've signed up. So somebody signs up and they can get a welcome email. So you can choose the template. Then you can add a delay. So then we'll say, okay, 2 days after that. Oops. And then add another mail. So you can say, so send a welcome email, send a new email, then have another delay. So you can just build up a sequence here. And then you can edit. You can choose your template. So I want that to be handwritten. And then you can go in and compose the email. So once you've done all of this and set it up to go, save and continue, then you have a 2 email sequence delivered over 4 days, which is the onboarding, and then anybody that is tagged with me will get that sequence. So once you start the sequence, any one that matches that criteria will start getting the sequence. But then if anybody else that's added, it'll automatically put them onto that sequence. So then you start the sequence and the campaign's live. So then you can start seeing various summaries. And you can do that with the campaigns, or you can do it with single email blasts. So if you wanted to send an email to everybody about an upcoming webinar that's already in your database, you can do it via the mail campaigns. So this is what's coming in version 3, but into the Elite bundle. If you've already got the Entrepreneur bundle at version 2, you get this automatically. But for anybody that doesn't and waits until version 3, then they'll have to get this as part of the Elite bundle. So that was me saying, what could I say about version 3? So the prices are going up. We're refining the data to make some reports quicker and enable us to do more in the future. And we'll be releasing the new version of mail campaigns. And that will be the bulk of what's version 3. A lot of what's you're seeing already in the CRM has been incrementally added to get us towards version 3. So on version 2.97, we're quite close to version 3. There's not going to be too many new features. Can data be exported? So Phil's asked, can data be exported to Excel? It can. So again, you go to, let me just jump off this page. You go to Tools, then Data Tools. And then under the Data Tools, you'll see Export Tools at the bottom. And then this will say, okay, I've got 624 contacts in the database. You can either export all the fields, or if you just want, for example, ID, first name, last name, and email, and then click Export. Then it goes away and it will generate you a CSV file, which you can then import into Excel. And you can do that with the other objects as well. So you can do that with invoices, quotes, and transactions. So that's how you export the data. I think that's all of the questions, unless there's one in the new chat panel. So Ernesto has asked, is Zero BS Gutenberg optimized? So we have, where possible, we try and keep all the editors to our own versions. So when I showed you mail campaigns a moment ago, wherever that's gone, seems to have lost mail campaigns on this one. Oh, it's not refreshed the page. Yeah, so so the editors that we've got on our page at the moment are our own editors. So Gutenberg, I did write a post about that, about Gutenberg. So we don't really use it, so it's really not really a question about is it compatible. We have tested with Gutenberg, and it doesn't break anything, so that's good news. But we don't actually use Gutenberg editor anywhere because we're not really doing any post content on the front end. It's all like managing contacts on the back end. So I'll show you that link. So that's the information about Gutenberg. So we don't really change anything, and it doesn't change any of our contact views or edit views because it's all customized code. So again, a disclaimer is it's before the release of version 5 of WordPress, which will be on Thursday. So again, we'll be testing as part of our usual updates of whether anything in WordPress 5 is going to impact the CRM. But on a whole, we're pretty much separate to work like that side of WordPress because it's all, we utilize WordPress as the content management system, but a lot of it is custom. It's all our custom code, so it doesn't really, Gutenberg's not going to change anything. Okay, so I think that's all the questions. If you've got any more questions, then a couple more minutes, and then we'll call it a day. So the final link I'll share will obviously be back to the pricing page. So if you haven't purchased the bundle yet, as I was talking about a minute ago, we're currently running on our end of version 2 pricing. So the pricing is going to go up when we launch version 3. So if you are keen, then the Entrepreneur bundle is by far the most popular because it includes access to all the extensions and any new extension releases. And reseller, if you're wanting to sell this to your clients, so if you're an agency and you have various customers that might benefit from having a CRM, then reseller is your best bet because it's effectively 10 licenses for $649, so it's about 65 per install versus 200 for the Entrepreneur. So again, Entrepreneur is the most popular. And as saying on here, if you purchase now, when we do launch version 3 and the new pricing, you will be on 199. You won't be increased. So it's always, you're going to be at the same price and whenever you renew. And then a few more questions. So you can cancel your subscription at any time, just let us know. And but it does mean your license key will cease working, and you'll also lose access to support. So it's given the amount that we update the CRM, it's definitely worth keeping your license active. So this is our I'll just share our consistency page with people. So this shows us effectively what we've been doing since we've launched. So we've done around about an update a week, and this covers all of the updates. So you'll be able to see all the features, and you'll be able to see all of the updates. So on version 2.96.7, so we're quite close to version 3. And we've got an update in the works that should be coming out this week. I'll go into plan, maybe early next week. So again, we're updating frequently. So it's worth keeping your licenses active. We don't accept PayPal. It's only Stripe. So Stripe handles our credit or debit card payments. So if you've got a credit or a debit card, then you can use it via there, but we don't accept PayPal. So again, back to the pricing. I'll leave it on the screen for a couple of minutes. And the CSV report, again, the person that asked, can it be downloaded to Excel? That has now downloaded. So it is, you can see, you should be able to see that at the bottom there. It's downloaded to the CSV, and that will contain the fields that you asked it to do, which can be uploaded to Excel. Okay, so thanks everyone for attending. We'll be running another one of these after the Christmas period, where we should have even more to share as we get towards version 3. We'll be doing specific webinars on certain extensions as well in the run-up, so just showing more of a deeper exploration of things like the mail campaigns and some of the newer things that we'll be introducing. But like I said, a lot of version 3 is already in the current version, and it really is now just take advantage of the entrepreneur at the current price, because you don't want to be hanging around and it going up, because not too much will change. So you're not going to miss out by waiting. Oh, sorry, you're not going to benefit by waiting. If that makes sense. If you purchase now, you're not going to miss out on any big features. Okay, thanks everybody. Okay, I'm ending now.